unless anybody else has to.
I feel like it's not even going to be connected, but go for it. You make a segue.
No, it's connected. It's connected in a way. The HLTV MVP is so rigged.
Isn't it literally a fan vote? Or do you mean the one that they give out?
HLTV.
Or you mean the one that they actually give out?
HLTV, like they actually give out.
Not the man of the match, right? Okay.
It is so obviously rigged and shit that it's lost its value after this.
Wait a minute, rigged for who?
Monacy was.
Oh my god! Wait a minute,
Monacy, yes.
Kassan is secretly, and he's actually secretly a Zemu stan because he thinks they're rigging it for Monacy. Holy shit!
No.
The hero take. Come on, hit me with it. Come on.
Listen. They are rigging it to make it more interesting, so people would be more like into it. Right now, after Pro League,
what does that mean? Go on. What does that mean?
After Pro League, Zyvu was so obviously the MVP of this event.
It's pretty good.
That there was nobody else, who was.
Monacy was cooking in that tournament.
He was cooking it. I had him before the event to be top 3 and he's second.
Okay.
That's what I give him. The Twist would be number 3 for me, and Zyvu would be number 1. If you look at the rating, now the rating says 1.383 already, 3.0 is 138 for Monacy, 128 for Zyvu. KD difference is 155 for Zyvu, 147 for Monacy.
Okay.
Plus 111 frags for Zyvu, plus 86 for Monacy. Zyvu played more maps, automatically the more rounds as well. He beat Monacy in the final. 3-0. The final wasn't even that close. They beat that team in the finals. The Falcons looked like a bunch of tourists in, where was it held, in Stockholm? Going to Sweden, just fucking chilling in that final. That's how they made them look. And part of that was obviously Flames with the great game and everything, but Zyvu as well. Zyvu throughout the whole event. He was supposed to be the MVP. He was supposed to be the MVP 100%, which would do what? Cement him as the best player of 2025.
Wait a minute, it goes deeper. So this isn't even just Maui that they're generally rigging it. That they did this specific one to make the Player of the Year race.
Specific
Is that
one,
the concept?
yes.
Right, okay.
Specific one was rigged.
So this would have made him number 1 at the end of the year, in your opinion? If he
now that there is a chance for Donk, for this and that. Zyvu winning
There's levels to this conspiracy. I like it. How far does it go? Keep going.
If Zyvu won this, which he should have, he would be the number 1 player no matter what happens in the rest of the year. 100%. Now that he didn't win it, now there is a potential to Donk to win the major and Chengdu and all these things, and then maybe people will question it. And by the end of the January is when they, do the little thing where they present it, we're gonna be wondering like, who is it? Now there is no question who is it. It's Zyvu, and it should have been Zyvu. And this shit is rigged, and I'm not supporting it anymore.
Go on,
I love that finish. The hot take is that MVPs are rigged. I felt like if Zywu, it felt like a formality for Zywu to win it, even though in some of the playoff performances he didn't actually look as stellar as you would have wanted. I mean, the grand finals was to be. I mean, Flamesy was great. Zywu still played well. I'm almost surprised. I think his rating again was a little bit lower than I thought it was going to be. When watching the games, then seeing the rating corresponding those, it was confusing. Like I don't. If you're plus 15 as an opper in a grand finals, like I mean, it looks like he had like a 1.5 KD roughly speaking in the grand finals. Zywu. I don't know how that's not better than a 1.05 rating, which in turn really negatively impacted him. And yeah, you could say that his kills were less impactful. They were, than Monacy's, who was like fighting everything to keep Falcons' dreams alive in it. But like, I don't know. I can't really say it's a conspiracy, but I did look at some of the just like leaderboard stats. You go to the end of it where it's just objective metrics for the event, and Zywu just crushed it in so many of them. Like in terms of like if you take away the rating 3.0, the round swing kind of ones, which are all like advanced metrics taking all these different factors in, but you look at just the pure raw numbers, the damage difference per round for ZywOo is just it blows Mondesi out of the water. I mean, like he blows pretty much everybody out of the water with a stat that really just means I shoot you way more than you shoot me, which to me is also pretty valuable. His KD differential is insane. His total kills are really high. His multi-frag rounds are one or more kill rounds is better than everybody. Like just again, the raw metrics that you can't fudge this with advanced algorithms or anything like that. ZywOo was killer at this event. So for him not to be the MVP, again, it was a shocker for me. But I don't think it's rigged. I think that this is where it's just like, did round swing go too far? Like, did it go too far? Did Nero cook a little too hard with round swing? Because I thought Mondesi was really damn good at this tournament. I don't know if I would have. I don't think I would have handed him the MVP over ZywOo though myself.
No, before Duncan replies, how many times have we seen a player that doesn't win the event wins the MVP?
It happens more than
gets
you'd think.
Defeated in the grand final like this.
By the way,
I remember
ZywOo himself has done it a bunch of times, Kassan.
Bunch of times.
At least 2 or 3.
The quantity I'm asking, like how many times?
Yeah.
I remember happening it to Simple.
Yeah, pretty sure the main people it's happened to.
Yeah.
Twist did it once, Kenny S did it a couple of times. It's mainly Simple and ZywOo, obviously.
Okay.
There were a handful of other ones, like when I dug into it, but I actually don't remember all their names. But like there were a couple unlikely ones too out there.
All right, do you want to know one angle I think you guys are missing? So there's 2 parts here. One, you just did the fucking box score watching for the final. Did you actually watch it with your eyes? Like ZywOo did fuck all in that final, mate. Like he actually low key. It wasn't as bad as the major, but he wasn't even their best player, mate. Like it wasn't even particularly.
No, he wasn't their best player.
He actually just sort of like phoned it in. And the difference is, yeah, Mondesi did not have his best match in the final. But first of all, he did have a couple of good eye test moments. And then secondly, his team collapsed. He was actually fine. His team just went to shit in the final. That was half the problem. Once they lost the first map, they were basically just mentally checked out and they were just ready for the second place medal, weren't they? Despite all that drama about KSOK. My problem is this. There's 2 parts here. So one is this, right? One of the factors, I believe it was even said by HLTV when Mondesi got the MVP, is, bro, you guys are doing the total stats. His T-side numbers were fucking mental for an AWPer, bro. Like, by the way, here's his stats for the tournament. He attempts 23.9% of opening kills and had a 76% success rate, right? 20, if you don't know, Brokey attempts like 8% of fucking opening kills or something, and you all think he's like an aggressive AWPer. That means Mondesi, for real, on T-side, is just like taking engagements, finding... If you've ever watched, bro, there's certain maps, for real, where like he goes first, and the fucking rifler comes behind him, and because he's Mondesi, he does that like super fast zoom in and kill the guy, then duck back out, and then the rifler peeks out for like if someone goes for the trade. Like, it's fucking... This is actually not just a normal AWPing performance, but the AWPers in CS just clean up on CT side, don't they? They just sit in the bomb site and get 3 kills when people rush their side. This was all like T-side shit, which is like super valuable to me. So I thought Mondesi did play fucking insane at this tournament. So I'm fine with this one personally. I don't think it's that big a deal. And then also, as I just mentioned, I'm sure there's no one who can be a ZywOo fan is daring to actually suggest you can't lose a final 0-3 and win the MVP. Because if so, let's go ahead and fucking take. There's even a pro league that fucking ZywOo did it in. I think it was season 19 or something. Like he did exactly the same thing when they lost to like it'll have been like Mouse or something like that.
Yeah,
I think it was Mouse actually, like 2024 or whatever it was. So like ZywOo's done it himself. And also, this is actually why I guess it does tie to my point, Kassan. This is also why I think someone once explained it this way, and this is the best way to describe it. You know, HLTV rating isn't a stat, right? It's a bunch of stats put into like something that's an abstraction, basically. It's not a raw stat. But the problem is, because it's a number, people treat it as a stat. And this is exactly where you can't do that. Because when people compare, even 2 players in the same game, so ZywOo and Mondesi in just the final, let's look at like ADR. They're not facing the same scenario. It's the reason why I find the NFL the most worthless sport to do those like sports ball discussions about. Because think about this, right? Say me and you are quarterbacks and we play in the same game, and you just look at the end at the number of yards I had and the number of touchdowns I had, the number of interceptions, and then we compare that and say who was the better quarterback. But I didn't play against the same defense you did. I played against your defense, you played against mine. So I'm playing a completely different style. In fact, at the end of the game, if you look and I have 3 touchdowns and you have 1, maybe we look at the game and you never had a fucking receiver open the whole game and your 1 touchdown's fucking godlike, and the fact you even got but maybe for me I had like 3 touchdowns that were just passing to a guy here and he was just like free at the 1 1-yard line and he ran it in. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, I do think it's hard to do like stat comparisons at half. So I don't hate the idea that people think Ziwu could be it. I actually think it's between Ziwu and Morrissey, and I don't hate it if Ziwu wins it. But I will say, I'm not the one who established it. It was established years ago that you also have to have like a good final as well, typically, to get this MVP award. Like, here's the part that you're missing, Kassad, is... Like, the part, if you notice, we didn't address is I don't think any of this was actually rigged by HLTV to specifically make Donk be allowed to win and Ziwu not be confident. I don't think any of that's the case. I think that's a good hot take to make it funny, but I think this is actually the way that they're evaluating. Put it this way, the reason why I point out I don't think Ziwu was very good in the final is, bro, if he was even a tiny bit better statistically, he would have won this MVP, I'm telling you. Like, if he'd have actually had anything close to a carry performance in the final, he would have won the MVP 100%. It wouldn't have mattered. By the way, even that rating thing wouldn't have mattered. You know, like the Ziwu be like 0.1 lower on the rating or whatever, that wouldn't have mattered. If he'd have just had like one big map where say he'd carried the last map of the final, say he'd had like 2 or 3 big clutches and he had like, you know, a 20 bomb, I don't even think that rating would have mattered. I think they would have said, right, in the final he was the better player and over the tournament, you know, his team. So I actually think again, essentially, I'm not in the middle on the take. I definitely don't agree it was rigged though. I think that's nonsense. I don't think they're really doing that at all. It's a funny angle, but I don't believe it's true.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.